Today we're going to take a closer look at another semiconductor giant, Intel. The company has had a few recent updates that investors should keep an eye on, so let's get started.
I do want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and make sure to check out fool.com/Jose to get the top 10 stocks to buy right now.
If we take a closer look, Intel right now is sitting at $26.09. Unfortunately, year to date, the stock is down roughly 51% at the moment, and one of the main reasons, right, is this company is definitely seeing numerous headwinds. First, the overall consumer market is weak right now, but also the overall competition in the data center market due to competition from advanced micro devices is definitely dragging some of this company's revenue and overall operating profits down as well. So like I mentioned, Intel in the past few days, in the past few weeks, has announced a nice amount of updates, and I do believe it's important for investors to be familiar. The first one I want to take a closer look at is one that was announced on December 22nd. This is probably my favorite. Even though I'm not an Intel shareholder, I do believe this has huge potential for their overall market and for the overall returns in the stock. Maybe not in the short term of things, but I do believe this could be a good beginning. On January 10th, Intel will officially welcome to the market the 4th generation Intel Xeon scalable processor. So this is their CPU that's supposed to go on data centers, right? Right now, they are seeing heavy competition from AMD. AMD recently released their Genoa about a month ago. So Intel, unfortunately for them, has seen numerous delays and numerous stepping, but they are finally releasing it, and that might be a great thing for investors. They also mentioned that they will be releasing Intel Xeon CPU Max Series as well as Intel Data Center GPU Max Series for high performance computing. This is going to be an event, like I mentioned, on January 10th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I will most likely take a closer look at this event and just kind of do an overview. So make sure to stay tuned on this channel. Make sure to hit the thumbs up if you are enjoying the episode so far. And if you want to support a little bit more, make sure to subscribe using my link at fool.com/Jose. Finally, if you are here, it means you're a semiconductor investor. I have a weekly podcast on a different channel. The link is above or in the pinned comment, and make sure to check that out. So next, I want to take a closer look at another event as well. On January 12th at 10:30 a.m. PST, Intel is going to be holding a PC Total Addressable and Platform Roadmap Investor Webinar. This, in my opinion, is going to be a big deal for two things. First, it's just going to show where the overall market is right now, especially in the consumer space, but where they see this growing, right? They're going to talk a little bit more about their total addressable market here, where they want to go, not only in the CPU market, but obviously in the GPU market now that they're entering that consumer space. The other thing is that roadmap, right? The platform roadmap. The company is continuing to innovate, and not this generation. This generation is doing great, right? We're going to see it's getting great awards, and the overall consumer market is definitely appreciative of this new kind of recent generation, the 13th generation Intel release. But what's more important is their upcoming products and what they have in store. So this is definitely one on my watch list. Next, we have, like I mentioned, Intel 13th generation is doing amazing. They just broke the record partnering up with a company called Asus, who develops a lot of kind of computer components. But Asus pushes Intel i9 13900K to over 9 gigahertz, showcasing the processor's overclocking prowess after breaking previous world record at launch. So that's definitely a great move. It's nothing too crazy, nothing that investors should be excited about or that would drive the stock price, but it just shows kind of that, hey, their innovation is working to some extent, right? They might not be the best right now like they were about a decade ago, but at least it's showing that, hey, their products are kind of innovating and they're becoming some form of strength to kind of mess with again. Another thing here on Tom's Hardware, they did their best awards of 2022 hardware. And if we take a closer look at what they recommend for CPU, again, this is very, I don't want to say one-sided, but it's all dependent on how they look at things. But they voted best CPU, the Intel i9 13th generation. So again, it just showcased that, hey, their newest generation of CPU is doing pretty well, especially in the consumer market. Now, another one I want to mention here on December 16th, Intel just kind of announced some of the new tools in their One API. For those not familiar, Intel definitely has software solutions. This is a software developer platform. So this is something they've had before. You know, just like any other software, it's a yearly release with new solutions. They're kind of just showcasing the new solutions and the new ways you can use this software development platform. Nothing crazy here, but again, it just continues to show that, hey, this is not just a hardware company either, it's also a software company. The final one I want to mention is probably one of my favorites, and I do believe this one has huge potential for the company, or it could be a huge stepping stone, a huge milestone, what they say. The first EUV light marks Intel 4 milestone in Ireland. So we know Intel is kind of focusing on manufacturing chips, but also manufacturing their own product line, right? The Intel 4 is what's expected. They did mention that their fabrication plant 34 in Ireland took delivery this year of its first EUV lithography system, all thanks to ASML, and this is going to be a key enabler for the Intel 4 processor. This, after numerous months of setting up, right, this is a big machine, it takes time to set up and everything. This week, they reached an important moment when the EUV scanner generated its 13.5 nanometer wave-light for the first time. So now they're going to start developing a little bit more in their future Intel 4th generation platform. I think, again, nothing crazy right now, but it's definitely a huge stepping stone if this manufacturing and this kind of developing of their own platforms is going to be a great move. That's to be seen, but at least right now it's creating that platform for it to grow. So at the moment, I don't think anything here is going to move stock price in the short term of things. The only one I would say is maybe the January 10th event, if they do kind of showcase some great numbers with their new generation of server processors and their overall GPU market products for the data center market. It has the potential of providing a nice amount of revenue in the upcoming quarters. Again, as long-term investors, there's a lot of bearish cases and a lot of bullish cases for Intel. Obviously, some of the bullish cases is this improved in technological movement, which can help their data center and consumer solutions, and also that manufacturing side, which can overall help the company's revenue. On the bearish side, right, a lot of competitions from companies like AMD and NVDA in the CPU and the GPU market, and in the kind of manufacturing market. Not only do you have high competition from TSM, but you also have the huge cost to kind of develop and kind of enter that market. It's a very expensive market. So at the moment, I'm personally not purchasing Intel, but I can definitely see why certain investors might want to purchase it. To me, it's still too early, and a turning point might not happen within this quarter or next quarter. I still think it's gonna need some time for, one, their technology to kind of show itself, and two, its kind of manufacturing to kind of start to grow. So take care, have a good day, and see you next time.